Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mindful Moments. We are going to do a floor sequence today, so we won't really be up off of the floor very much. Most of it will be down either if you have a mat on your mat. We'll be doing some half sun salutations, but that's pretty much it. So get ready to stretch and be feeling grounded and connecting to the earth as we start our week together. Let's go ahead and begin by bringing the soles of our feet together in front of us in a butterfly pose here. You can breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, bringing some straightness to your spine, aligning so that the crown of your head is reaching up towards the ceiling and your tailbone is reaching down towards the ground here. If you want to, you can use some blocks to support underneath your knees, or you can allow your knees to flop open and away from each other. So let's take 3 collective breaths here, breathing in and out. Again, in and out. Last one, breathing in and out. If your eyes are closed, you can go ahead and keep them closed, or you can gently open them to just sort of check in with me if you wish. But we are going to move into a position where we move our ankles away from each other, opening them up away and wide in front of us. So we've got this wide stance here. If you want to start by opening them up just first in front of you, and then moving away, finding whatever that comfortable distance is away from each other, that is fine as well. If you've got blocks or big books handy, you may want to just stack them right in front of you, just like this. So we're going to reach up as we breathe in, and as we breathe out, we're going to reach our chest forward, forward, keeping a straight back until we no longer can, and then you just find those blocks right in front of you and rest your forehead on them. Bringing your hands to the ground. Breathing here for 5 breaths. One more breath. And inhale, reaching forward with your arms, reaching forward with your chest and up towards the sky. Exhale, hands down by your sides. You can remove the blocks from in front of you. Let's bring the bottom of the left foot into the inner thigh of the right leg. And we're going to tilt our torso so that we're facing over the right leg now. We're going to reach up as we breathe in and breathe out, reaching towards your toes. If you don't quite get to your toes, that's okay. Wherever your legs or wherever your hands land along your leg is fine. We'll breathe here for 3 breaths. And inhale, reaching up towards the sky one more time. This time, take your right hand, place it on your left knee, and with your left arm, we're gonna breathe in, reach up and over towards our toes, flexing our foot so that our toes are pointed towards our hand, and hand is pointed towards the toes. And breathing here for 3 breaths. And shift your gaze sort of into your armpit here and bring your left shoulder into your back space a little bit so that you're opening up your chest a little bit more into the space. 2 breaths here. And then inhale, coming out of the bend, coming out of the twist, and switching sides. So extending the left leg now, bringing the bottom of the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Shifting your torso to lean and face over your left leg this time. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding forward, reaching towards your toes, letting your hands land wherever they land on your leg. And breathing here for 3 breaths. Inhale, coming straight up first, and then untwisting, bringing your hands by your sides for your exhale. Then left hand to right knee this time, and inhale, reaching up and over with the right hand. Flexing the foot so toes and fingers are pointed towards each other. Breathing in for 3 breaths. Shifting your gaze towards your armpit, bringing your shoulder into the back space, and looking up towards the sky, opening up for 2 breaths here. And then inhale, coming up and allowing yourself to untwist as you come back into the center space. Let's find ourselves in a tabletop now. Making sure, as always, that your wrists, elbows, and shoulders are lined up and stacked, and knees and hips are stacked so that you have a strong foundation as you can possibly have. We're going to inhale, drop your belly button, lift your chin, open your chest forward, reaching and shining your heart forward for our cow. And then exhale, tucking the belly button back up towards the spine, tuck your chin to your chest, and arch your back up towards the ceiling for cat. Inhale and open up. Exhale, closing back in. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. And back into a neutral tabletop, and then tuck your toes, lift your hips, and lean up and back towards your heels in our downward dog here. Let's pedal our feet a little bit, bending our knees one at a time to get an additional stretch in our hamstrings. And then using your hands to walk back towards your feet into a forward fold at the back of your mat if you have one. Inhale for a half lift here, supporting yourself on either your shins or your thighs to help yourself with a flat back, but taking care of your knees. Exhale to release. Inhale, coming all the way back up, arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, flat back until you can't have it any longer, and then reaching toward the ground. Use your hands to walk yourself out into downward dog again. Pausing for one more breath here. And then walking or hopping your feet forward into a forward fold. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, coming all the way back up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Once more all the way through. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, diving down. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale, release. Plant your hands and step back into your downward dog. This time, inhale to reach the right leg up and back behind you, flexing that foot. And then bringing your knee, your right knee behind your right wrist, and your right ankle behind your left wrist. And then fully extending that left leg back behind you. We are in our pigeon pose here. So first, let's take a couple of breaths, just keeping our balance here, perhaps on tented fingers, to open up our chest and stretch our hips at the same time. So 2 breaths here. And then if you want to, you can either stay up in that pigeon, or you can move into a sleeping pigeon, bringing your forehead down towards the ground for another 2 breaths. Inhale to bring yourself back up if you had gone to sleep. Tuck those back toes of the left foot. Rise your hips up and bring your right leg back and up behind you. And then back together next to your left foot. Breathing here in your down dog for 1 more breath. And then lifting your left leg up and back in the air. Bringing it forward, placing your knee behind your wrist. Ankle behind the right wrist. And slowly allow that back leg to fully extend out behind you. Adjusting yourself so that your shoulders are not hunched up by your ears. You have some space in your neck here. We'll breathe here for 2 breaths. And then as you exhale, if you wish, coming down into your sleeping pigeon for 2 breaths. Inhale, coming back up into our pigeon. Pausing for 1 more breath here. And then tucking those back toes of the right foot, beginning to rise your hips up into the air, bringing that left leg up and back, and allowing your feet to meet each other. Holding for 1 more breath in down dog. And then allowing your knees to come down and pushing yourself back into child's pose for 5 breaths. After your 5th breath, you can gently bring yourself to your back. Making sure that your back is on the mat, the bottoms of your feet are also on the ground with your knees pointed straight up. So your feet are about hip width apart. We'll take 1 resting breath here before doing anything. And then if you have a block handy, you feel free to use it right now. As we inhale, we're going to rise our hips up off the ground as we ground down through our feet. You can either hold it or give yourself a block under your low back to support yourself, but we'll be here for 3 breaths. After your 3rd breath, remove any blocks or supports you may have had. And slowly, one vertebra at a time, allow your back to come down to the mat. You can gently sort of windshield wiper your knees, bringing them from side to side. Help yourself here. Again, for this next pose, feel free to use a block underneath your low back. We're going to inhale first to bring our knees to our chest, and then up straight in the air. If you want to use a block, perhaps go into a bridge first, and then you can bring your legs into the air. Or if you want to, and you have a wall right next to you, you can just put them right up against the wall. Breathing here for 3 breaths. Go ahead and bring your feet back down to the mat. Remove the block from underneath your low back if you were using it. Inhale to bring your knees to your chest. You can gently rock from side to side for a breath or 2. And then coming back to center, allow your arms to open on either side. And exhale, bringing your knees to the right side. Your gaze can look over your left shoulder for an additional stretch if you wish. We'll be here for 5 breaths. Inhale to bring your head and knees back to center. And exhale, allowing both to fall to their opposite sides for another 5 breaths. Inhale to bring head and knees back to center, giving yourself one more little hug here. And then allow your feet to come down to the mat. And for Shavasana today, you can feel free to make the choice to either, as usual, extend your legs fully out in front of you and let your feet fall away from each other. Or you can bring the bottoms of your feet together into this reclined butterfly once more. With blocks underneath your knees or not. Whichever choice is most comfortable for your body today in this moment is totally fine. But we'll allow some stillness to enter into our bodies. We let the work and the movement that we invited in to settle and start to do its work on us. Let's slowly begin to bring some movement back into our fingers and toes, gently wiggling them. If you've been in the reclined butterfly pose, perhaps stretching your legs out and stretching your arms overhead for a full body stretch. Then choosing one side to roll over onto. Pausing here again for a brief moment. Taking your time to get up. And then using your hands to push yourself up into a comfortable seated position. If your eyes are closed, you can gently begin to blink them open, coming back into the space, coming back into awareness, back into this time that we are sharing with each other. And we will close our practice today by saying namaste.